Good evening, everybody. Welcome to episode 8 of Victorian Vigilante. As always, I'm your host, the Creator Freaky, GM here, and yeah, that's pretty much it. That's what I do mostly on this channel. Um, yeah, so before we get started, we don't really have many announcement to do for the evening. The only thing that we'd like to always mention and promote is that we are indeed Dice affiliate with Die Hard Dice, because they're one of my favorite dice maker and company, and just overall really good people. Once again, if you use the code Great May at checkout with your order, you will get 10% off your entire order. And if you choose to take the Glacial Moonstone with blue, which is a beautiful dice set, as you can see on the little graphic there, we do get a little kickback, which helps support the stream. Other than that, we don't really have any really related GR announcement per se, because our schedule is what it is right now. Thursday games, and yeah, that's pretty much all. Nothing major coming up soon. If we are, well, you can always check out our Twitter account. If you do exclamation social in the chat, or if you're on PC, it's right below the little screen right there somewhere. Probably there. You can get a direct link to our Twitter account. It's where we will post any fun little updates about what's happening soon on the channel. That is all for my part. Any of my fellow and cast member lovely players, we decided to come back again for 8th session. I am on the roll. Have any announcement they would like to make?
I have a minor one.
You got it.
This tomorrow and next week over on my channel, twitch.tv/the_French_Tuck, I will be raising money for St. Jude as a part of St. Jude Play Live. I have already beat my first goal, but I'm now raising money with some even more fun incentives, because anything for charity.
I mean, what we have seen so far, what was it like purple butter and other madness?
Purple butter,
your chat
purple
made
butter, orange gnocchi, and tomorrow you will see the red dough that I have had to make.
What are we making with that dough again? I forgot.
I'm making twisted spice buns.
Yeah, definitely check the French Duck. I drop their link in the chat. It is amazing food, and when they usually stream after I have lunch, thankfully, and still I get hungry. So, all right. So, I think that is pretty much all we have really for announcement. We don't have much to say, unless any of my other cast members have really cool shit that they're working on. But if they do, I mean, we're gonna make sure to let you all know. Because one big thing that we love to do here on the channel is support our cast member and everything in a possible way. And if they do cool stuff, we like to shout it out. So, without further ado, let's roll that little intro video.
We interrupt this program in order to bring you news about the ongoing situation in our eastern colonies and news on the conscription bill recently introduced into the House of Commons. regular scheduled programming.
And there you go. And we are properly back. Apparently the unmute button didn't want to unmute me. Alright. So where we left off. Our party members continuing their investigation on the disappearance of the Doyle children. Found a series of clues which, currently has been leading them towards the implication of Mr. Harrington, very unique businessman, entrepreneur of all sorts of things here in London, and his involvement with all sorts of trade, including currently the disappearance of missing elder children. With this in mind, with their latest visit to the Doyle residence, they were greeted by the lovely Mrs. Doyle, who is absolutely a nice person with her pet lizard, and the slightly less lovely Mr. Doyle, which they finally met. He's a bit of an abrasive gentleman, to say the least. It was an interesting interaction as they received a ransom note from the kidnappers. And, somewhere in between that, there was some casual, ghostly possession from, old Chinese lady ghost. But, that's just, under the radar things here, just normal thing that happen here and there, right? This is, ghostly possession is the least impressive thing.
Not the weirdest thing we've had happen so far.
No, I mean,
Very true.
I mean, we had, a strange man on rollerblades rolling around on the street. That was wild.
Hey, it's London. Crazy stuff happens.
Exactly.
It's a big city. No one pays attention.
Ghostly possession is certainly not new to Zephrine.
No, and it is sometimes not necessarily new to some people, in the city and surrounding, especially those that, may deal with some specific art form. But that's where we are now. Here, standing at the steps, just right outside the Doyle mansion, and as a lovely rain is pouring. You can see that you can hear the rain on cobblestone. It's, casual day in London. It's been, cloudy for the most part of the week. Finally rain, because, there's only two weather in London, cloud and rain. And smog, or whatever fume the coal mine will do, so. What do you wish to do?
Fly down around and get ourselves to the bar. Along the way, though, I might as well be looking for someone you can use as a messenger.
Okay. It's about like 8 o'clock at night, give or take. So you would be able to find messenger. There's definitely like some easy courier that you can either actually hire, or you can just give a few coin at the right end, and somebody could get things around for you. Which bar are you going to specifically?
Landlord.
Yeah.
Landlord's mate.
Yeah, perfect. So easy enough. I mean, you managed to get one of those coach that can get you across town, pay a few coins, and make a quick pit stop along the way to deposit whatever information or letter you may want to deposit Basil. Along the way, any of you wish to do anything before we get right over there to the landlord's mate?
Well, did we want to try another consult with the ghost, or can I finish this transaction?
You may want to do one more consult with the ghost, if you don't mind.
Alright, well then I guess I'll post this in the morning.
I mean, the night's still young. We still have time to do plenty of other things this evening. but after
Uh,
that, after that, dealing with that asshole, I think we may need some more information. And unfortunately, your dead friend may be the only one that can give us something.
I'm trying to make arrangements on that subject.
okay.
Uh, and yeah, that's what I sent off a letter to my association to try and make arrangements to one legitimately pack up this Dragon 4 movement, and amongst hopefully if we can get a hold of it, the idea would be to have mixed in amongst the handyman doing the packing or whatever, some expert on the culture and or these kinds of artifacts
Mhm.
to be able to use that as a premise to get a up close look at it and tell us what we're dealing with, as well as he's making still the arrangements to have the demolition equipment handy, whether or not we decide to use it. But I just want to make sure that it's readily available.
All right. I mean, you probably already have like few things available to you already. Let me just check what you may have in your pockets or what you already have in your inventory. Do you have anything for that matter?
That's when we found out it wasn't going to be major combat. I didn't really talk to you offhand as to, with my background of demolition, what that would require me to carry around other than my marvels of the hand bombs. I assume I have access to demolition charges somewhere. That's why
All
I'm
right.
using this letter
That would
as a loophole for us story wise to
perfect.
get a hold of these items if I need them
Yeah,
or don't have ready access to them.
and I mean you would know where there's not necessarily your
Mhm.
own factory, but other
Yeah, I
like
have stashes, I'm sure.
a stash, and provide acquaintance that may be able to provide you the necessary items to build what you need along the way. Um, so that can be easily arranged. So as you're sending a letter procuring, um, just mark out like it's like 4 or 5 pounds.
Easily enough.
Yeah, uh, and for most things it would just favor an IOUs type of deal until we can actually figure out the cost of certain things. Uh, James, Safrine, and Alexandra, anything you want to do before we get there, or we good to get to the lovely pub?
Can I, while we're in the carriage, take another? Did we get a copy? Did we get to take the ransom note with us, or did the Doyles keep that?
Mr. Doyle and Mrs. Doyle kept said note at the moment. If you would have wanted to
Okay.
make a copy, or at least make notes of it, we can retcon it
Can
for that. No problem.
well, I would have probably copied it, and I kind of want to take the carriage ride to just kind of think over and all the wording of the letter and think if I can think of any specifics, like hidden meanings, any clues of anything in there.
I mean, some of you do have, a very, very good memory, so they would,
And
remember exactly what the letter said. Uh, I did post a
I was
copy
going
of it
to
in Discord, so.
either assist her and assist Alexandra with that in some way. But
Alright.
also, in my mind, when they start mentioning handwriting stuff like that, off chance, do I recall seeing this handwriting anywhere
Uh,
Yeah, kind of
ever?
similarly.
Not this specific one. At least, not without, visual comparison at the moment. It's, sometimes, handwriting can be
Right.
vaguely similar, but, certain aspect will be quite different. If you're looking for any specific information that you may be hidden within the note, what kind of check could that be? That is, I mean, it is a wits check regardless. I'm just trying to. Just give me like just general wits for those that are for Basil and Alexandra.
One success.
No successes.
You recall the words. You write them down just to make sure that you don't forget. And for the most part, it seems to be fairly clean cut. They know exactly what they want. They know. They told. There's no equivalent of a thieves' scan type of deal here. Every place mentioned seems to be legit and good. And you approach, and eventually, the landlord's maid, the usual faces greets you. And behind the bar, his new hire, a little dwarven fella, barely a chinny chin chin on his face, little peach fuzz. Hi there, what can I do for you?
I, Tuck, do not remember, but Alexandra would know the name of the woman that we had an interaction with the first time we came here, and presumably knows her name.
Sure.
I do not remember her. I did not write that down.
Let me see if I can find it in my note.
From our tinfoil hat session.
Otherwise, I can just pull the name out of my ass.
It began with an A, I think.
Yeah. I think like my mind goes to Alice. It might not be that, but let's go with that because I'm not
Let's
able
go with that.
Yeah.
I'll say, is Alice here?
Oh, I mean she's around somewhere. I think she's like out back at.
Is the room in the back used right now?
Let me check. I think it is. I think there's like people occupying this right now. But let me check. You can have a seat there. And I'm sure I can bring you a round of drinks if anything, or food. We have food. And you can see that he's visibly nervous. It's probably his first day on the job. He does not want to lose that job.
Just find Alice for me, if you wouldn't mind. Thank you. What's your name?
What's your name? Oh, my name? It's Robert. But my friend would call me Rob.
Robert. Just fine. Ooh. I think Destructor, we're getting some feedback from you.
Yep. Can't leave you yourself.
Just find Alice for me, please.
All right.
She'll be able to...
And you see this little... I mean, for you it's a normal leg, because, dwarf. But, for most people that are regular height, you see the little leg, like, just skipping around across the floor. And you can hear, like, chitter-chatter from the back. So, yeah, Alice is, busy with some work back there. But she did confirm that, the room over there is, a bit busy. But now if you need a quiet corner, I mean, there's, like little table over there. It's, it's not perfect, but, I mean, as you can see, it's not... Thankfully, not very busy tonight. And you can see, I mean, there's like maybe like a few straggler, like one or two person into just having a drink and a bit of food.
Take the corner.
Round of drinks and a meal.
All right, I can do that.
When the room opens up, just let me know, please.
Okay. Well, what? I mean, no. What's your name?
Alexandra.
All right. Well, nice to meet you. I'm gonna be back with. What do you want for drinks and food?
Suppose food, whatever Alice recommends. Do you have a brother?
Yes, we do. I can, bring you some, bourbon and some. I mean, there's, still some, mutton stew in the back. I think it's still good. I can bring you some of that. It's very hardy, in weather like that. You need some warm food.
Action. Thank you.
All right, perfect. I'm gonna do that right now. You may
Does he actually seem nervous in a first day on the job kind of way, or
give an empathy
there's
roll.
something unusual about the place?
Yeah, that's my question. That's my question as well.
You
'Cause
know,
I don't recognize this guy.
yeah, not every NPC I make are sketchy asshole. Okay, some of them are actually kind little people.
I'm not saying he's sketchy,
What?
but he might be scared.
Every
What?
NPC,
Yeah, no.
but
Good
any
question.
NPC.
Yep. One success.
One success.
Good job, Rafiki. You've trained us well. We're scared of all the NPCs.
I'm not scared of the NPC. I'm thinking he's nervous about something that is.
Yeah.
All right.
Sure.
A gun.
Okay. All right. Okay, Discord is acting up for me right now with the audio, which is giving me a hard time hearing all of you.
2 successes on empathy to see if he's.
One success on him.
One success on empathy. All right. Are we dropping frame? I don't think we're dropping frames right now on stream.
It's stuttering.
Hold on, folks.
Yeah. All right. Connection has been all wonky all day, which pissed me off.
It's stabilized now.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's hope that things stay okay. It's been something, you know what? All right. But he seems legit. He seems to be just a young fellow, a bit nervous. But he means well. He's just you see some stain on his shirt, which probably leads you to believe that he dude fucked up earlier and was probably scolded by Alice, because people that know her well know that when people fuck up, they will Alice will tell them.
The minute our drinks arrive, Alexandra just takes her cup and just shoots it all back.
So Alexandra's working on getting drunk this outing. Nice.
Mm-hmm.
I
No,
am
that'll-
too, but I start to get drunk after I clean my gun.
That'll be the only one. I just.
I'll put my hand over James's glass. We need you uninebriated with some translation whenever his train is ready.
Yeah.
Fine.
Do we
I'll
want
buy
to
you-
go
I'll
here?
buy
Or do
you
we want
first
to
round
wait
now.
for the back room?
Wait for the back room, I don't think. Although this place sees some odd stuff, it does not. That is one of the things it is not used to.
It doesn't need a ghostly possession in the main room. I didn't think so.
No.
But
But-
it's your place. I wasn't sure.
Ugh.
So just
You'd think. You'd think
In which
after.
case, also shoot my bourbon, because maybe it'll help with the headache.
You'd think after having dealt with these types for years, literally almost my entire life, I'd be more used to it, and yet I still wanted to punch him in the face.
I wanna
I
punch him in
thought
the
that
face
was a
too.
normal reaction.
It's a very common feeling when dealing with, especially Eldrin. But generally, others of the upper class are insufferable.
Imagine growing up being dragged to board meetings filled with people like that.
You're saying this to the person that literally makes the clothing for these people.
No,
I
no,
get
I'm just,
all the. I hear everything, and I also get dealt with all of the bullshit.
anyway. Well, we're here until we hear from the ghost lady. I have attempted to make arrangements to get us some information on the drag itself, and some arrangements for dealing with the situation. What do we want to do? I reiterate my plan of either preparing, depending on what we find out about this dragon, either prepare to destroy it once the children are, do so once the children are safe, or we bootstrap the thing to enable the capture of these individuals. Either way, we trail it to whoever it's going to be, and once the children are released, we really set off the trap, whatever it may be, smoke bomb or whatever. SWAT team moves in or something, or we just annihilate them and drop a building on their heads. I'm brought in for. Um, but we also have James here and his specialties. What is
My
our
experience with mystical stuff is it's not a good idea to destroy the object without knowing exactly what it is and what's going on with it spiritually.
no?
That's my concern.
That's why I'm hoping my letter there will give us some information. Obviously, we don't want to be unleashing demonic dragons on the downtown area. This thing would blow up.
I will say, worst comes to worst, I will be on a roof close enough for a nice shooting vantage point.
But I might do, as they may not be releasing their children at the same time, I think I can cobble together another pair of skates so that you can keep up with the wagon to trail them to wherever they take it. Because they're going to obviously want the dragon handed off, and we're going to want to know where that is. And rather than
So-
jumping from rooftop to rooftop.
Mm-hmm.
Some kind of like radio transponder thing. Like
One,
shortwave or something like that.
the stream is going wonky again. Two,
Yep.
we did talk about the wireless communication. Fiki had, DM had said that Basil would have some contacts. It would have basically. I looked into the wonders, and a wireless telegraph is about the closest thing.
Yeah, I just meant something that's going to
Basil
put out
would
like a Morse code that you could follow later, not necessarily something we'd have to communicate between ourselves.
that would be the basis of the tech, and we'd have, so basically
Yeah.
just saying yes, that the basis of wireless is existing. So yeah, we could do like a spider tracker type thing, I would assume.
This is off top. This is GM. Do you want to throw us to it? Do you want us to take a second to pause on the plot stuff so that way tech can be figured out?
Yep. So we're just gonna go on a quick back screen. I don't know what the hell's going on here, but
We'll be right back,
please stand
folks.
back.
We're gonna take a quick BRB.
And we are back, hopefully, for the rest of the stream. Thank you very much, everybody, for your patience. Sometimes the internet can be a real pain in the butt, and there's nothing we can do about it except obey it, because we are dependent of that cruel mistress. At least, for streaming. So, alright. I do believe that before modern technology decided to fail us, that we were at a tavern and having food and drink and a bit of a break, complaining about their employers, or at least the spouse of the employer, Mr. Doyle. It's just like the internet right now.
So as we were saying, we have this artifact which may or may not be some item of power, or if nothing else, just of cultural significance. We don't know who's actually trying to acquire this from Mr. Doyle. We know some of the intermediaries. Um, in your upper circles of society, or damn in mine, do we know of anyone else with resources to arrange something like this, like another Mr. Doyle, that has an interest in items of power or just the Eastern cultures?
Give
It
me
might, yeah.
Those that would have connection with operational society. Just give me general knowledge check.
A high society?
Yeah.
Which I think is also wits.
Yeah.
So,
I'm
yeah,
going
this
off of the fact that I would have knowledge based on
You would probably
hearing
hear a few rumors.
and drop, and also like I
And-
dress all their wives, and they are probably dressed by my siblings. So
Yeah, or people in the same industry that sometimes you chit chat with.
yep.
So I will take that
So
into consideration.
this is a wits.
That is just
General
general
knowledge.
knowledge.
Oh, general knowledge.
Yeah, I mean, unless
Okay,
actually, and unless general.
General knowledge is wits. I just forgot I had that as a stat.
I mean, I'm sure there's like a very specific skill for things like that, but I'm just gonna go with what I see on the sheet.
2 successes.
3 successes.
All right.
One.
So you do know that objects. There is obviously a few collectors out there. People that just may have interest beside Mr. Doyle. There is a Mr. Blackwall, which is an older gentleman that some of you may have encountered, or at least actually is a friend you probably went to some of his soiree, and because it is in a circle, and Alexandra, you probably vaguely heard his children speak about their elderly father's obsession with various things from various cultures. So you do know about the Blackwall family, mostly Edgar Blackwall, who was an older gentleman, a bit a strange fella for the most part, but would possibly have some knowledge. Otherwise, there's always your friendly local expert at your local museum.
But these people who would have the knowledge. Basil's more trying to think of the ones that might be willing to pull off something like this, that are either borderline disreputable, just that obsessive.
There's not many folks that are that obsessed with things like that, or at least they don't show it. Mr. Doyle is obviously a rare example here. They may just be some people from out of town that are aware of it, I have a better bid on it, and are employing some people to obtain it for a reason or other. Yes?
I mean, it's also possible that someone is after this thing because of the pure amount of jade that this thing is made of.
I mean, it is,
Like, you break this thing up into its composite jade, and you're basically set up for life.
Yeah. Your mic is a bit glitchy on my end. I'm not sure if it's like that for everybody else.
Yeah, it is.
They
Yeah.
were saying I can't seem to get it fixed.
Yeah. But yeah, it is also a possibility that somebody's just, wanting the object just out of, the sheer value of it and is pulling here a heist because
So
it is
no
difficult.
one, no
Yeah.
one stands out in any particular way.
Not in particular way. I mean, there's always, the criminal underground and various, mobs, and, you know, mobs from overseas and across the continent and from, every aspect of.
So
I have, some tie in, in London. There was, obviously, local, Londoner gangster, but there's also
right.
some people from the equivalent of the triads around here because immigration is a thing.
So, man, everything's right. So basically, as we've been dealing with the whole since we started this, we're at a dearth of information. There are too many suspects. We don't know what this thing is, so we don't know who wants it.
Mm-hmm.
All we know right now is where and when this is. We know that there's an exchange to be made. If we're going to solo, we have to follow them from that exchange. I don't know what else there is to do until we can either determine what this item is exactly, or someone on the other side makes a mistake. We simply don't have the information, or we have overlooked it somehow.
Yes.
Can I make a general knowledge check to
For
see if I can think of any specific dragon deities that this statue may remind me of?
would that be actual just general knowledge or?
Or straight wits?
I'm sure there's a specific skill for that. Give me a general knowledge. Make it a difficulty 4, just
Okay.
because it is something that's a bit outside of
Cultural.
your realm.
Yeah, it's outside of my realm,
Yeah.
but
Religion isn't a skill or a basic skill
I mean, there's
anymore.
definitely
Almost.
like specialties and the manual about like
Oh yeah.
yeah.
occult and all that, and
4, you said?
yeah,
Okay.
I just
Well,
don't have
okay.
all because the list of specialties is extremely extensive for this book.
Yeah.
4 successes, 2 failures, so
Yeah.
2 successes.
I mean, you're somewhat well read person. You do read it here and there, not to a level of expertise that some scholar would have. But you know that in various religion there is always some dragon god, dragon demons. There's some, and that in the East such objects are fairly dominant. So, a specific one per se, no. You don't have a name at the tip of your tongue. But there's correlation and mystical things here in the city. Is London is not an isolated location with all sort of strange things.
But it would make sense. The connection I'm seeing is that like the mystic energy that was in the dragon is not just lay mystic energy. This is something that is like very obviously purposefully placed within this object.
Most likely,
Yeah, it's
Okay.
an artifact.
Proper expert on the matter, would probably be able to tell, but
Damn, I have ear on the street as a privilege, which, according to this, gives basically I have a better chance of knowing who to ask for information. Can I think of anyone I could get a hold of in a relatively
I mean,
quick means to find out rumors on the street of who might be particularly looking for a jade statue or a dragon of any sort. Like, I want to see if I can know anyone who, if there's been rumblings on the black market. I want to see if I can get a name of someone who's been doing this shopping.
Yeah. I mean,
'Cause
as all of you denizens of London, and some of you possibly immigrant from other countries, you all know that there's sometimes various district in the city for people from certain different other cultures beside being like the white folks of London. There is definitely I would not
Like, how
yeah.
how long and hard would it be for me to ask these questions, get information?
I mean, how hard it is, I mean, it's just, depend of, going there and talking to people. All along, I mean, the near Chinatown is like Chinatown, but let's put it that way because I don't have any other, it's mostly like, a street. It's maybe about like 30 minutes away from this part of town.
I might have some contacts who could tell us who's been in the market
Yeah.
for this item.
And I mean, you
But-
would know that there's probably somebody there over there.
Yeah. So I talked to the party. It's like I might have. I've called in for some information to hopefully get us an expert on the item itself. I might have some contacts who might be able to give us a name of who might have been shopping for this. I mean, you don't just put a crew together out of nothing. They probably asked around. I think.
I'm gonna pull out the ledger note that we took from Harrington's book.
Mm-hmm.
Beyond Harrington, what other names are on there?
Beyond, you mean Mr. Doyle?
Doyle, sorry.
There's a variety of names. There's the Smiths, the Johnsons.
Immediately before and immediately after.
Immediately
In timeline.
before is William Johnson, and right after is I'm just gonna pull a name here because I don't have an actual ledger here.
Mm-hmm.
Is it?
Basically, are they names that stick out to us?
Yeah, that's any other high class people, anyone
Not.
that
It's not
known
anybody
being
that
black market.
It's not any known famous name. It's probably your average Joe, shipping things from overseas.
I think we might be at a dead end on chasing the dragon for information. At this point, I think maybe we should shift to concerning ourselves with recovery of the children and trailing this item once it has been exchanged. I don't know what else we have. I'm open to ideas. I'd love to think that I've overlooked something, but I don't know what else we can do in an expeditious amount of time to look at it from this dragon point of view.
Well, once the back room opens up and we can have a private space, Zafreen, if you're willing, I think we need to talk to your spectral friend to see if we can get any sort of information, understanding of, was it the statue, was it the thing inside the statue? We were kind of in a rush, and now I think we need to see if we can get any other information, because clearly she knew she had an idea of what it was. She was afraid of it.
Right. I mean,
Jim, how long has it been? We're still waiting for. Has there been any activity with the back room?
It's been about maybe give or take 30 or so minutes. Periodically, you do see Rob, just trying to check in, see if you still hear noise from the room. But it seems to be whoever is in there pretty busy. And eventually you do see, yes.
Can I go to the loo and try and walk past and listen and see if I hear anything?
Yeah, go for it.
As or before she does that, do in my various chemical concoctions and things on me, do I have the makings of a stink bomb? I can maybe see by clearing the room.
In your pocket?
Yep.
Most likely,
Now
yes.
we have to be in the stink bomb room.
I can air it out. I mean, how important? I just give it to you. It's like this might clear it out, then we'll have to deal with the smell later. But if you think it's important, and I
Yeah.
just hand it to her.
Not like the smell will linger in the entire building here.
It's all on how important you feel it is.
Yeah.
3 successes?
Success. I mean, you do hear some familiar voice in there from your inner circle.
Oh.
Yeah. There's, good old Murphy here, just, being the sometimes a bit overly loud idiot that he is. Probably has, a few drinks under the table.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
If it's my circle,
Yeah.
does it sound like it's my group?
I mean, it does sound, like, and James Murphy, is, not necessarily a close friend to you per se, but well known to the family. And there's also John McCoy, which is, you can hear him like being a bit more grumpy. He's like a distant cousin, most likely. So.
Okay. If that is the case, I will knock. If I know who's in there, I'm knocking.
And he heard the voice of McCoy. Who the fuck do you want? And open the door. Well, look who's here, the little brat.
Hey, bastard! What are you doing back here?
Just TD chat with old friends.
And can I get a peek inside the room and kind of anyone of note beyond just people I know?
Yeah, I mean, it's some people that you may have like seen like in like circle and but not anybody that necessarily talk to or enough to that you learn their name per se.
How much? Okay. How much do I need to ask you? How much would it be a favor for you to get out of here and go hang out to the front room, and then me and my comrades can have this room.
I mean, we're about like done with our business here. Like maybe like another 5 minutes if I can, get Murphy's ass out of here. Probably need some fresh air.
Lovely, thank you.
All right.
They're
But how's your mom? How's your brother?
doing well.
Yeah. Have they been, sent overseas? Or they've been the lucky one that were able to skip it?
James got conscripted, but he was the eldest of the boys, but the others seemed to be okay. Whether or not, it's hard doing this twice.
I feel that. I mean, hopefully it's everything all right. I mean, James has always been the lucky one, At least, got himself into trouble, but never, too much trouble.
Aaron was lucky too, and Aaron didn't come back.
That's true. That is true. All right, well, like, and he looks around. Let me just finish up with the boys here, and catch you in a bit, okay?
Thanks.
But you have my address, right? You know where I live.
Yeah.
Why don't you ever visit?
I'm busy.
Well, too busy for me.
Yes.
Well, wait until I speak with your
Stop by
mom.
the
And he closes the door.
shop, and you can and make an appointment, and we can hang out that way.
All right, Miss Busy here with appointments. Look at you, big city fancy pants. All right, let me just finish up here. I'll be right out.
Thank you. And I'll head back to the party. And I'll hand Basil back his stink bomb, being like, "We're fine."
And you will hear, like, you slowly hear him. You'd never believe who that was. And you hear him. Well, of course I believe you. I could fucking see her. And maybe like 5-10 minutes pass.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you got the room. You have a good night. Who's your friend there?
Just some fun.
Evening.
Evening.
All right. Well,
How do?
catch her around. Be kind to Alice. She has to deal with the little shithead over there. I mean, he's a good kid, but he fucked up so hard earlier.
Oh, I mean, Alice can handle herself, but you know me. I always leave a little something extra for Alice.
Oh yeah. I mess with a lot of people. I don't fuck with Alice.
I don't think I think you got to have a death wish to mess with Alice.
I've only seen one person do it. Never seen them again.
Hey, you missed the time I did it.
You only thought you did.
Is that what happened to Happy Face?
Yeah, is that
That explains a lot.
Face?
No, you see this giant scar on my arm? No, that's what happened. That woman's good with a knife.
Classic Alice.
I always try.
Shall we?
Thank you.
Yes.
All right. But eventually, you are able to make your way to the room, and you do see Alice, like walking by, like being super busy. You're not exactly sure what she's working on, but you have like a little bit of visual or like her back office.
Can I do an empathy check to see if it's like the usual busy or if it's something else is happening?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, because you said the bar's pretty empty. What would you
Yeah,
busy
bar's
doing?
empty.
Yeah, but she, maybe busy with other things.
2 successes.
All right. She seems to be like mostly like concerned about things and frustrated. And I can see her like poring over like books at ledger. Like her office is slightly open.
I'll tell the group. I'll tell the group that I'll be a minute, and I'll do a.
All right.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm all right. Just business as usual. You see. Or
Seem a bit
less
stressed.
business than usual.
Business is down.
It's been down for like past couple months. But nothing to be overly concerned.
I'm trying to drum up some support. Always happy to bring some business to my favorite tavern.
We appreciate business here for sure. That's for sure.
Can I, while I'm in there, just like take a peek on the desk, like kind of subtly?
Yeah. You can give me just like your perception. Make it a difficulty 4, just because
It's all covered in drawings of dragons that are jade.
That's right.
Oh, the dragons that are Dave.
That's most
It was
definitely
Alice all
the least,
along.
just so we're clear.
4? Jeez,
Yeah.
I rolled terribly, so. That's cocked. 2 successes, 1 failure, so 1 success.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. It's just a bunch of business number, and it seems to be a bit more negative than positive here and there. But details you would need to take proper time to really look at the books.
Nothing sketchy, though.
Nothing that really catch your attention immediately that jump to your.
Well, my group and I are going to be in the back room. We know we just kicked the boys out, but we'll clean up. I know they probably.
Probably, yeah. Appreciate it.
But
All
I'm
right.
not gonna put that on you. Seriously, you know that if you need to talk to me, you can. I'm
Don't worry about me, love. You know I got this.
all right. Uh, Alice,
Yeah?
you got your fingers in a lot of different pies.
I mean, sometime later and figuratively, yes.
Ever heard of a Harrington?
That little shit? Yeah.
You know him.
I mean, vaguely.
You know his boss.
Doesn't really have a boss, per se. It's more like usually his own boss. You know, may get himself
yeah.
like did trouble finding catch to him or something.
Uh, seems to be messing about in some of my business.
All right. I mean, honestly, he may be a crook. Usually, he's actually pretty decent. So, not sure what the hell is going on if he's meddling with your business. But
Anyone
I mean,
he usually works
I could
for?
put the air out. I mean, usually, it's mostly like import-export, right? Smuggling, once in a while, the gambling ring. But nothing, no.
If you hear anything, you know where to find me.
Oh, yeah, I know where to find you. All right, well,
And I'll head back to the room.
perfect.
Oh, Alice, if you hear anything coming from the room, just ignore it.
As per usual. As long as you clean after yourself, it's fine.
Thank you, darling, and I'll go back into the room with the others.
All right. So I'm assuming that some of you are settling down for a little seance.
Let's go talk.
Oh, my third die. There it is. I rolled into a dice tray. One die didn't make it in. It was the success. So one success on being possessed.
All right. So, and you rolled? Did you roll difficulty dice against that?
No, I didn't. How much difficulty dice do I need to roll?
It's just one.
Okay. No failures.
All right. So, once again, you see Zephyrin's eyes completely go white. Her body, twitch a bit. And she looks at you, all of you, blankly. A bit lost and confused.
You're up.
You're up, James.
Ask her if she remembers the dragon statue earlier. Or when, ask her if she knows where she is first.
Hello.
And she responds, "Hello?"
My name is James, and I just have a couple of questions for you.
Okay.
Does she know where she is? And two, can she tell us why that dragon statue seemed afraid?
Okay, so question one. Do you know where you currently are?
And she looks around. I don't. This land is unfamiliar to me. That's pretty much just of what you get.
Okay. And question two. Do you remember that statue? What about it frightened you as much as it did?
It's the Harbinger of the Dam. Or like loose translation, it's essentially, yeah, that's what you would get. No, it's the from what she remember as a young what she will tell you, what she remembers as a young girl, way before her time. Essentially a little story of, there was a spirit of dragon imprisoned in the statue, which is said to bring forth vengeance and doom and the damns. So all fun stuff and on and all. And that will take some times, obviously. So, the friend, if you could just mark off possibly about 2 die, 2 pip on that quintance, which is probably gonna fuck you over a few times.
Two more or one more? Because I marked one last time, so
Yeah,
two more.
Yeah, there's more information being.
Um,
How many do you have left?
3 more on that one die, and then I've got like 5 more dice after
Okay.
that. I have a lot of resolve.
Yep.
I have a lot of quintessence.
next question. Does the stories tell anything about how to stop it or negate the danger?
Overall, she's not doesn't have the answer for that.
Okay, now you're legendary stories.
Yeah, it's.
And then
Way
I think
before
for our friends of free, where is her home? Where would she need to remains to be sent?
How would she like me to get her settled? Not that I'm in the room to be able to ask that, but that would have been how I would have phrased it.
Okay. She's from the Guangdong region, and her name was Shang Ying. So you may have to do some research of if she has any relative living from there. That would take some time, or you can just put her in a FedEx box with mail for Guangdong and over the best. It's up to you how much time you want to spend on that.
It's all off-camera work. I can put that work in.
Yeah.
As needed.
Oh yeah.
Does anyone else have any other questions? I don't know how much more information she'd have for us. Alessandra?
What did the stories say would happen if the spirit of the dragon comes forward?
Essentially, cities will burn, and from the ashes, the dam will rise. So yeah, all fun stuff. If is this accurate or just a false myth? Don't know.
So we shouldn't give it to the people who want it.
You don't know. They might be actually trying to return it home safely. We really don't know what the situation is. Unlikely, but it's possible.
What this has definitely told us is that we cannot destroy the statue.
Well,
Yes. Not entirely.
well,
I
that's
do-
it. In the stories, how is the dragon unleashed from this statue? Is it just a ritual, or is the statue simply broken, damaged? How is the dragon unleashed in the stories?
You get like a rough translation that she's not sure. Mostly, this myth is not told as folk, just to make sure that nobody actually tries it, and if it works.
If it works, everybody, and it's bad.
Yeah.
So I think damage is a bad idea because generally when you break spiritual items, they release whatever is within them.
Do we know that for a fact, though? Destroying that might not be the vessel. That might be the gateway. Destroy the door, it can come through. Point is, none of us are experts in this. We need someone who is.
Well, Supreme's an expert in this. Supreme is currently possessed by a ghost.
You can go now.
And
Thank you for your help.
And as you're like having the spirit leave your body, you're feeling like shit. Your headache, just got cramped up to 11. But what doesn't help is if somebody goes at the door, knock.
Someone knocked at the door?
Yeah.
I bet
I
you
get it.
That better be more
Hello?
meat.
No,
I'm just very,
Oi.
very barely cracking it open.
Is Ms. Alexandra and her friend are there, right? And you hear the voice of Robert. Or Rob. Little dwarven man, not the other
Yes.
Robert. There's a courier or a gentleman here with a message. Apparently, Mr. Doyle has asking for your attendance for urgent matter.
I'm good.
have the message sent here. We'll finish up back here.
Bring me like 3 glasses of whiskey, please. This is gonna be a long night.
All right. And you hear stuff, and you see, this, scrawny little woman. Yes. So, Mr. Doyle, well, it's been looking for you. You said that it's important regarding his children or something. That you just received some update about this. So
We were
And
just
He sent you
there.
specifically here.
yes, we know.
We were just there.
Yes,
And you
yes.
couldn't have told us that while we were there, or is this a brand new development?
I'm sure. I think it's more new information. I'm not honestly in all the details. I mean, there was somebody that dropped something like maybe like an hour ago at the door, and immediately sent a few of us to search for you. So I guess I got lucky.
Great. Let's go.
Excellent, thank you.
I down my 3 whiskeys before I go and deal with this man.
Oh Lord,
All
don't
right.
do all 3 at once.
I steal one of your whiskeys before like you're down one, I've downed another, so you got 2 to 3 whiskeys because I definitely need something to fix this.
Still, I downed one.
Oh.
So what do I roll for this?
It
What do
would-
I roll for my drunkenness?
It would be your fortitude. Because you're doing it fairly quickly, let's make it difficulty 2.
Sweet exit. I'll leave. Like basically I'll do double the amount of whatever our bill would be on for Alice.
All right, we can work that post game.
2 fails, 0 successes.
All right, it's not gonna hit you right away.
Gonna hit you while we're at Mr. Fancy Pants'
It's
house.
gonna hit you in the middle of the carriage right over.
Yeah. So, I'm assuming quickly enough the same way that
Deal with this.
y'all got there.
Yep.
Um,
Get a carriage.
yeah, and it doesn't take much time to get there. Maybe like at most like 15-30 minutes. Which is for some of you a bit of a rough ride.
Oh yeah.
And if some of you, your face would not be less than expressive and colorful, it would probably turn to green. But promptly enough, you do make it to the Doyle residence, which you've
Yeah.
been grown accustomed to by now.
You have to take a minute when we get out of the carriage just to be like, oh, okay.
Yep.
Court face. Oh.
Yeah. James, you may have to sit. You may have to sit
This
down
pressure
for a
point,
bit.
really helpful. This pressure point right here.
Do I have any aspirin or equivalent on me?
I mean, are you asking me if you have drugs?
Anything that would help her headache.
I mean,
Opiates.
you have something that you would assume. Do you have any medicine skill?
No.
I mean,
So,
you have something that you would assume that does relieve some pain, or headaches.
It's possible I might have opiates or
Whether or
something.
not that is pure opium.
Oddly enough, he has some willow bark I can just chew on.
Yeah. Oh, whatever it is I think I have that might help her. I'm just, oh, well, yeah, try this. And
I don't even question, I just down it.
Yeah. Should be fine.
Mystery drugs.
And I look 75%. 75% what? Oh, well.
75% effective.
35% of everything else is just like rubbed off. Like you can barely see the script. That's fine. We have all consumed strange product that with like the expiry date may be there or not. You're not sure.
This was my winter jacket from 2 years ago. I don't know. What's
I mean, the rest of the bottle is in German. It's fine.
And 5 minutes later, Zafrina's seeing demons through the walls.
So,
That's
it's a normal
four.
day for me. Got it.
Yeah, it's a casual day.
Okay. Any? Does it look like there's hubbub outside the Doyle house? Are there cops?
No,
Did they
there's
finally call the cops on this whole situation and
There's
report
no-
their children missing?
there's no nobody. It's what from the exterior perspective, it seems to be business as usual. Doyle mentioned, except there is definitely a bit of activity inside, but nothing.
Any reporters nearby?
Give me a perception. I think that is. Yeah, perception.
Well, I will say that in the letter they were specifically told to not involve authorities.
Mhm.
So,
Whether or not they listen to that, that's a different thing.
well, it would put their children in danger. So,
Not great. One success.
What were we rolling for?
See if there are any reporters nearby.
Yeah, I think I was close on perceived reporters. I don't know if I got difficulty dice after the bourbon, the whiskey, and the mystery
Nah, it should be
drugs.
good. The only one that has a bit of a hard time right now is James having down too much and fell.
3 successes.
3 successes on
Take-
perception.
Take a look around. Seems about right. It's quiet night. It's rainy night. Not much traffic on those nights.
No reporters. All right.
At least nobody that you can notice. No.
Let's go and see what.
Is the door unlocked? If so, I don't knock. I just open it and go in.
It is unlocked.
Yeah, I just lead us in. I don't bother knocking
Yeah.
this time.
That's
Yeah.
fair.
I walk in and I instantly have the urge to steal stuff. I already
Sure.
rolled and failed.
You do pocket, a little trinket there. All right. So as you walk in, you do see Mrs. Straub, just walking around. And, oh, I did not hear you knock.
I
Sorry.
didn't.
We didn't.
All right. And he
We
looks-
were summoned?
Mr.
Yes.
Doyle's in his office.
Yes, in in the room.
Excellent, thank you. Then just immediately
And you
go in
do,
that direction.
and you do go, same room that you went in before, with various artifact. This time, pretty much extremely poorly lit. You can only see maybe shade of Mr. Doyle, just sitting there in the dark, with a little pipe in his mouth, and his demeanor seems to have shifted a little bit. Thank you for coming so quickly. I'm
So
sorry,
what is
there's
this
not much
new
light. Yeah,
information?
there's a lamp right behind. And he takes out a piece of paper and it over. Bless you.
Bless you.
Thank you.
What's on the paper?
Apparently, plans have changed. We don't have to meet tonight. We have to meet. We don't have to meet tomorrow. We have to meet tonight. Not sure why.
What's the paper say?
Let me just find it exactly in my notes, which I had opened, but now I have to reopen because I had to reboot my PC, which is great. My little ransom. Where are my notes on ransom notes? Which is a very, very strange.
Ransom notes, plural.
Yeah. There you go.
That's not,
Well, this is
it's
our
important to
second
be
one.
organized.
I mean, it's under my blackmail section, which makes sense, right?
Yeah, tracks.
So, do you turn on any light source in here? Because I mean, there's a
Yes.
lamp. Turn on the lamp, and you can read the note. Doyle, there's been a change of plan. If you want to see the children again, you will bring the ransom to Square tonight at 3 hours past midnight. Be there alone. No rouser, no beagles, and our jacks, which are just old Victorian slang for peeler spies and detectives. Or your precious little girl will get hurt.
Oh, does anyone know any spies or?
So this indicates that the original note was referring to, in fact, Mr. Doyle.
Hmm.
Comparing the handwritings between all of the paper we have.
Yeah, it seems to be a bit more closer to Arrington's original handwriting. Maybe a bit better, well versed, better written.
But not the same as the first note.
No.
We've had a change of power.
Oh, we know who. Oh, he's figured out what this is. Or at least
Whoever was
what's
in
word.
charge is no longer in charge.
And with the light on, you'll notice that where the dragon statue was, it's now like in a crate already.
Excuse me, who created this up for you already?
I had a few of my people here, but when we received the notes, got them put back in the original box. And you can see him actually. Those were very observant. If you could give me perception wits
Okay.
with difficulty 3.
Ooh, best I've rolled yet in our game.
0 failures. 2 successes.
Okay,
What was the difficulty?
3.
3.
I'm trying a different strategy instead. Your strategy is not working.
6 successes, 2 failures, 4 overall.
And then 3 difficulty?
Yep.
Okay, 3 successes. No
These
failures.
difficulty dice get rolled.
You've met him like a moment ago, which he seems to be the most sure of himself kind of character. He seems to be a bit distracted, and let alone a bit maybe ill. You're
See,
able,
look.
yeah, you're able to see a bit of sweat on his brow.
Does he look a
I found
bit
it
like?
interesting that this specifically mentioned his daughter, not both children.
There's that. But the other thought I had, does he look like he's suffering a bit like Zephrine is?
Give me an empathy check.
Kind of similar, in a similar vein. Does it appear as though
2 successes.
he is attempting to it is a nervousness of, oh god, my children are in danger, or it is a nervousness of, oh god, I'm getting caught?
Give me an empathy check.
I got 2 successes on my empathy.
1 success.
It's really hard to tell what exactly is bothering him right now. It seems like the person, just at a quick glance, somebody almost like running a fever type of deal. But if it's, if there's a correlation with what's happening with his children, I mean, possibly, you may be a dick, but they're still his kids. So it's likely.
Does he? So he doesn't look like someone who is or has recently been possessed.
No, you've seen Zephrane, and
Right.
no, um, doesn't seem to be.
Given my eye for disguise and structure from the legend,
Yeah.
does that box look right?
Looks like a box. Looks.
Does it look the right size and shape for someone who would
Yeah.
be trying to transport something
Yeah, it is.
like the dragon?
It is. Obviously a bigger size and probably have some stuffing in it to make sure that it doesn't break.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it would fit the object in question.
Is there anywhere in this room where dragon could be hidden? I don't think he's put the dragon in the box.
I mean, you take a look around. The size of the room. There's no other doors. Beside the
is
one.
the box completely sealed at the moment?
The box is currently sealed. You do hear some gentleman coming up, a bigger fella like. So, Mr. Doyle, can we just like come and grab it?
Question:
Yes.
Can the note be put in the Discord so I just can take a look at it?
Absolutely. Let me just grab that for you.
James, do help me here. I'm gonna I wanna look in the box just to be sure.
Absolutely.
And you see him, Doyle, like, what are you doing?
I'm doubting things. We open the box just to verify the dragon is in there.
I do take some implement, and it seems to be that the object is indeed there.
Okay.
Is it the same meeting spot?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go early and get set up. You guys.
No. Well, we have to be careful.
Here,
So-
I give James a pair of roller skates. Get there fast.
No spies, detectives, or peelers. They don't want us there, but
None of us are spies, and we've proven so far we're not very good detectives.
that doesn't truly matter in the eyes of them.
This is, unless I'm quite
If
mistaken.
it's Harrington,
James-
he already knows that we're investigating this, so we may
He
be
knows our
considered
bases.
detectives even if we are incompetent ones.
True, but one, this is, unless I'm quite mistaken, James, what he has done for His Majesty for quite some time, yes? Your specialty is being not noticed and
My
taking out
specialty.
targets?
Yep, that was my job.
Be there, but be ready for signal. Don't attack unless absolutely necessary. We want to see where they go. But be ready.
Understood.
All right.
I just have a question about the note.
Yes.
Does the stationery, does it match the first ransom note, or does it match the stationery we saw at Harrington?
It
The,
seems to
from the
match.
letter?
Yeah, it seems to match
Yeah.
the first one.
Okay.
So I mean,
I'm
but,
trying to think of what would cause a change of plans. They already knew we were.
I suspect that it's a change in organization on their side.
So we understand that we don't have much time. if you already had a plan, it would be time to more or less put in motion. I'm sure that my wife did employ you for reasons that may.
Yeah, pardon us just a moment. Okay, this is a moment for quick action. I assume James is already out the door.
Yes.
Okay, so you're out the door, speeding to get into position.
Yeah, James, roll me dexterity with difficulty 3.
Oh, I have a horrible
He's drunk on
idea.
roller skates.
I mean, he's a robot on roller skate that never used roller skate before.
Oh, I
And he's
have
drunk.
a horrible idea.
3 successes, no failures.
It takes you a bit of time, but eventually you do get your bearing. Start and go and stop may be a bit rough here and there, but you have moderate success.
Hopefully, it gets in there a little faster than just on foot. What's your horrible idea there, Examiner?
Horrible idea. Does it look like
Who are you talking to?
does it look like we can create a false bottom to this box?
Based
Or
on
fit
the size
someone
of the
small
box.
inside the box with it?
Yes. It's a horrible idea. Because I would rather volunteer, because I'm making this idea.
I have alternate idea also. It may be too complex to pull off at the moment, but what if we put something in the box that would leak at a regular rate and that we could then track?
They have the weight on this thing at Harrington's. I'm not sure adding a extra person wouldn't go unnoticed, just because they
This
would
is
notice
true.
the
They shipped it
irregularity
at
of the
least
weight.
once before.
True. True.
But-
What if we
But
put,
yeah,
for lack
something
of
that
a-
would
yeah, if I jury rig
Track.
something and out of game, I'm stealing this idea actually from a Sherlock Holmes movie. But jury rig basically like put a paint can in it that with a very regular leak that would drip paint or something at a regular interval.
I also had another idea. I'm saying this out of character, because I don't know if it works like this, I don't know the mechanic of this. What if Zephrine put the urn inside? Would the ghost lady try and take her back to her remains?
That's an interesting theory too.
Is that how your shit works? I don't understand how this mechanic works. But in theory, if the remains of the ghost that is legally haunting Zephrine until Zephrine gets situates her ashes, if said ashes are then taken to another spot, would the ghost then be able to lead Zephrine to her ashes?
That's a very interesting question. If the ghost was actively possessing me at the time, I feel like, yeah, the ghost would be able to take my body to follow her own earthly remains. If we just put the urn in there and then tried to summon her, we may not be able to get a hold of her, because depending on how she's tied to her ashes.
Well, the whole thing is that she's going to harass you now until the job is done.
Yeah.
That's been my experience, yes.
So she's going to be bugging you. We don't have to summon her.
Yeah.
Is that how the mechanics work?
GM,
Yeah.
how does the mechanics of this work?
Essentially, yes, she would have like frequent visit. However frequent, that depends on how much said spirit wish to go back. You've seen sometime being just there constantly, and just sometime, oh, it's good mood. Oh, wait, I'm taking a bath and relaxing. Oh, there you are.
Well, also, I mean, the ghost.
Also, she speaks Mandarin, and she's harassing me who does not speak Mandarin. So, like, she just shows up and speaks Mandarin at me. It's not. I'm not gonna be able to
She can point,
translate any of that to thing.
Yeah,
but
we don't
also we
really
could
need her
always
to
reclaim
translate.
James.
Right.
We could do both. Nothing says we can't do both.
Both is good.
Or, DM, you've said I've known people with the wireless tech in existence.
Yes.
Do I either have enough pieces in my random shit, or are they close enough to access where we could do basically make a small, basically tracking beacon that we could toss in this box?
So essentially
To
something
either-
that would emit like a constant radio signal that you could more or less,
That we could just
hopefully triangulate towards. Within your pockets, you may have a few things. You may be missing a few objects there, and because that is not necessarily your specialty.
This is true.
And it's about like midnight now. So most of your acquaintances that would work in that may possibly be
this would be
asleep,
past most of their bedtime.
and maybe there may be like a few that are just like working type of people that will work all night, and because when things happen,
I mean, theoretically, the wheels are already turning on the message I sent before.
yeah, theoretically.
Unfortunately, that's going to be too late, which that might have caused it if this is more far-reaching than we think. If they have ears other places.
Well,
So you're saying it's improbable that I could build or acquire a radio transmitter.
Build one, especially since this is not your specialty, it would take you a few hours to do so.
Right. Or
You
acquire
may,
one. Either.
I mean, you may, with the right amount of coin and the good favor and probably a grumpy friend, you may be able to acquire one.
in our
Within
within the time frame we have to deal with, the less than 3 hours to get it to the target, and where we're located, and given the fact that I can't pick up a phone and say, "Hey, meet me somewhere with this thing."
yeah, you'd need to go directly there. It would probably take with a fast coach or horse or cart, which I'm sure that Mr. Doyle would be more than willing to accommodate, or at least somebody would. Like within the hour, you could probably be back. It would cut down on on-site prep time, but
I think we need to ditch any mechanical marbles for this. I don't think we have the time, and I
Yeah.
don't think we have the
The
ability.
simpler thing is the paint trail, which may or may not.
I think paint trail, the urn, and then I think presumably they don't expect you to. They know that a man like Mr. Doyle is not going to ride a carriage alone, so I think putting one of us in a carriage in the carriage driver's uniform.
Better.
I can
Even.
drive a coach.
Two of you have already proven that you can be very not noticed in a coach. And we have time to strap you in so it won't be exhausting. Underneath.
It doesn't matter if we're underneath. It matters if we can follow along and then try and hitch a ride again on another carriage.
That's what I'm saying. As long as if they don't see anyone, that's all the better. They wanted him alone. So if you're already under this carriage, and if they either take the carriage or transfer the box to another carriage, there's still a chance that you can either ride this one or get on the other carriage. We can
Perhaps
make a
we could
quick
do
harness for it.
both? Put one person underneath and one person driving the carriage? If you really want someone strapped onto the carriage?
If
If you
it's
strap
on,
someone to the carriage and then they need to switch carriages, you're then having to unstrap and quickly
well, I'm
glom
thinking
onto the
using
next
like
one.
a couple of hooks on a harness type thing, not duct taping you in. But
What's duct tape?
it's a thing I'm working on. Ducks, they're really weird. It's very useful. It's not all it's cracked up to be, though.
Oh, boo!
But the point being, it's on how much of a risk we want to take with the Mr. Doyle. Um, to bring the rest of square, be there and be alone.
They are not going to expect Doyle to come to drive his own carriage.
Aren't they? Why do we think that they wouldn't?
Mr. Doyle, do you know how to drive a carriage?
I mean, I do have some knowledge on how to drive carriage and horse, yes. I do usually have somebody driving me, but I do know how.
If I'm a paranoid criminal and I tell someone that they're going to be alone, and there's more than one individual that I could see, I don't consider that alone. I'm obviously not the only one making this decision, though. Whatever the group wants to do, I'm going to start, while they're making this argument, I'm going to start pulling together and making the paint drip device
Alright.
and rigging it into the.
I need to try to surreptitiously hand you the arms, because the point
No.
is that this is...
Well, he's probably
Because
distracted,
we need
I
Mr.
guess.
Doyle not to realize that I have stolen this from the room to begin with. And now we're
just
trying
go
to
over-
put it into a box.
You can go over to where you picked it from and then bring it back over.
Well, no, there's enough knickknacks and stuff, and we've got the crate open. I've got random crap everywhere. Well, Alexandra is distracting him with talking with like, listen, do you want a driver? Do you want us hidden? Blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
That'd be your best chance to do it, and even then,
Yeah.
he's probably too distracted to recognize whether or not that's something.
Yeah.
He's sick. I still think something's up with this him being sick thing, but I think you getting it in there right now is not the hard part.
Yeah.
And I don't want the big dudes that came to
cannon.
move the crate. They're not in the room while I'm building this thing.
Right.
While this is happening, I will go up to Mr. Doyle.
Mm-hmm.
What? Ultimately, we are deciding what we think is best, but ultimately this is your decision. So, you are your wife, well, technically, and you have technically hired us. So, what is it you prefer?
Honestly, as long as we can get my children back, that's whatever method you believe is fine. I'm sorry, I'm just a bit distracted here.
You know what they mean by saying... Might I ask why they would target your daughter rather than your son? Your son is presumably your heir.
Yes, indeed. Although, I mean, they know I'm quite fond of my children. I'm not sure why they mentioned her specifically. Maybe they assumed I do favor her.
Do you?
I mean, she is my girl. But do any parents have any actual favorite children? I mean, yes, they do. But that is beside the point here.
Might I ask, can you describe your relationship with your children?
I mean, for the most part, I'm assuming is a regular relationship. We see each other when I'm home, or at least when we're both home. We do a few social gatherings together. But for the most part, I'm usually a fairly busy man working.
Do you think of any reason why your children may wish to rebel?
What give you this idea? I mean, I know
We
they've
have-
been getting possibly in occasional trouble with other family member of ours.
What do you know of Mr. Harrington?
Daddy is a little efficient man, but sometimes a bit less than trustworthy.
Were you aware that your children were spending time with him?
I was not, no.
Mr. Doyle, I hate to break this to you, but I think the situation is a little more complicated than you may even think.
Well, it does indeed seem like it. And we don't have much time in order, hopefully we're going to be able to resolve this. So do you and your associate have any actual plan? I know that one of them left, hopefully, to actually do things.
We are doing things. He's gone ahead to the location to scope it out ahead of time.
So is the...
Spring just starts ricocheting around the room accidentally. Oh shit. Oh.
Please be careful. A few things are probably more valuable than what you can earn in your lifetime here. So are we good to bring the package down? And you see like Mrs. Straub and a few burly gentlemen waiting at the door.
Give us a few moments.
Alright, well, please let Mr. Straub know once you are ready.
Do you have any, well, and they turn back to the three of us. Who is driving the coach? Do the two of you have skill in it?
I certainly can drive a coach.
No, I don't think I took that. Oh, I do. I do have 4 ranks in drive.
There you go.
Oh, okay. Well, then you put more ranks into it than I did, so.
Okay.
Perhaps we get a uniform of the house for you.
Yeah, go ahead and I'll start disguising, making up myself to look
Yeah.
nondescript and harmless. Probably incredibly very old.
Yeah, I mean, you could probably like get some extra clothes from the usual chauffeur of the house.
Actually, yeah, if that, I will do my best to make myself look like him.
Yeah. He's a bit shorter than you. So, but I mean,
I
when
shouldn't
one
hope so.
sitting, when it's not too,
So-
yeah.
Yeah.
But no, with roll me like
And then-
your disguise check just to see how
Okay.
good it is, because you have time and you have the person there and a few of their clothes, and so that will help.
Zephyr, do you want to follow behind and I hang on for a ride?
I would certainly prefer not to be trying to do another hang.
I can give it a go. I may need to borrow some clothing from the house because, looking down at my dress, this is not going to be as useful.
Try and also rig up like just a belt with like a couple of hooks or something to like you can secure yourself kind of so you don't have as much physical strain on yourself to hang on.
Mm-hmm.
Easy enough.
You know,
Asking
but
around the house, you would be able to gather things. They don't employ many. Actually, Mrs. Straub is a dwarven gentleman, so his pants may fit you. Although those are for the most part fancy pants. He does have some country pants, so that
Like a pair of country pants.
a pair of country pants. It is not not form fitting and doesn't fit well, but better than the alternative, which were children pants.
Children pants would probably be too big for me.
And I mean, Mr. Stroud, is not by any means a very thin gentleman either. So with a belt, you're able to attach things properly. It does nothing for your figure, but it works.
Eh. I need a clothing that does that. Well,
So, what's our plan here? Basil will drive. Alexandra, you'll be clutching on for dear life. And you wish me to follow along at a respectable distance so that I might theoretically chase after should we need? Is that what
yes.
we're saying the plan
And
is?
theoretically, James is on the rooftop right now.
Or in a treetop or somewhere that he can have a good vantage.
Once we get there, or slightly before, we'll trigger the paint. Paint thing will trigger. Hopefully, leave us a trail to follow them. Because obviously, we don't want to do anything until we secure the release of the children. That's why we have this trail. Hopefully, Alexander can stay on either the cart if they take our cart with the box or transfer the crate to another cart. Alexander can get on that. If that's the case, I will drive off if possible.
And and if they discover the paint thing and they chuck it out, hopefully they don't notice the little urn in the stuck in the corner.
Exactly. And also you. And meanwhile, I will drive off, get out of sight, give Mr. Doyle the reins, hop on my roller skates, and try and follow at a distance, which I've already proven.
You have a second set of roller skates?
Two roller skates.
They said I'd made
Oh,
some
okay.
earlier.
Oh, okay.
Oh Lord. Well, this is gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
So, as the Jarl's slowly setting the plan in motion, gathering your tools.
I give Alexandra back both the stink bomb and one of the smoke grenade.
All right.
Oh, I already have a smoke. I'm gonna.
Oh,
put
you
two
still have
smoke
that
grenades.
one, right?
I still have one.
Okay, so I'll give you the stink bomb too, just in case.
So quickly enough after meeting, and Mr. Straub come and pick up the crate with the people, and you do see them putting it in a cart. Slowly but surely, you're making your way to the rendezvous point.
Do we want to hold that for next time?
That's where we're
This
gonna
is
leave.
9:07.
Yeah, that
So yeah.
you're making your way to the rendezvous point. It is a quiet night. Nobody in the street. Rain has stopped and the fog is lifting.
Okay, the
Would-
rain stopped because I just realized the problem with our paint plan.
Yep,
If it's
the
raining,
fog is
that
right.
trail
Well, I
will
would have
wash really
taken,
quick.
hopefully taken that into account.
Yeah.
It would be something that would leave a trail.
So,
Yeah, I would hopefully not be dumb enough to not realize the weather I'm
Yeah.
living in.
so as tension rise, you're waiting for the rendezvous at the rendezvous for whoever left said ransom note or their associate. And that is indeed where we're gonna leave off tonight session, and we're gonna pick up next week at the rendezvous point for however this will go down. We don't know, but I'm sure with this party it will be chaotically interesting, to the least. So that should be fun.
But we know the other guys won't be expecting it.
I mean, even I don't fucking know what to expect, So,
I don't. Oh Lord. Oh Lord. Oh Lord.
alright. So,
Oh,
once again, thank you everybody for joining us tonight. Paul, thank you for bearing with us with the lovely technical issue that we had, but sadly those things happen. So yeah, we'll see y'all next week, same time, 7 p.m. Eastern, unless something change between now and then. But as always, keep stay tuned. I'm not able to speak anymore. Stay tuned on our social. Anything, any update, change in schedule and things like that will be posted there. Yeah, I think that is it. So yeah, stick around. We're gonna be rating somebody. I'm taking a look at who we have as friends. We know so many wonderful people. It's hard to pick some time. And we will catch y'all next week.